This is Just Nigeria, coming up on the program.
I am aware that a lot of young people are getting more involved in cultism, even as low as the primary school.
I have not been able to notice any preponderance of underage children engaging in cultism.
Cultism in classrooms. Just Nigeria unravels how children in Bayelsa are lured into violent gangs. Also, the visually impaired mechanic who keeps generators running in his community. And we look at how Rwanda's thriving art scene is helping revive the country's economy and attract international buyers. Plus,
my name is Olutoyin Ajala. I'm a medical doctor. Check me out.
A doctor who's back home to care for the elderly. Welcome to Just Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV, where we bring you the stories being talked about offline and online by the social media generation. I am Wale Fakile. Straight to our top story for this week then. It's something no one is talking about. Cultism is seeping into schools in Bayelsa and in its wake, turning young school children into gun-wielding gang members. Just Nigeria's Abayomi Adisa tells the story of how the underage are lured into cultism and the threat they are becoming to the society.
Bayelsa is one of Nigeria's oil-rich states, but many of its residents live in poverty. The need to survive is pushing many young people to embrace aggressive behaviors. Yenagoa, the state's capital, some primary and secondary schools are almost under siege by cultists. Children as young as 13 are members of violent gangs. A troubling experience that keeps Dennis, a school administrator, up at night.
When the school is in session and you see called boys from outside coming right into your classroom to pick their opponents who are also cultists that must have offended them in one form or the other, with gun right inside the classroom, scaring the students, everybody running, teachers running. After they must have done what they come for, the place will be calm again.
Buba runs a community school in Akemfa, Epie. She recounts what she calls a distressing experience.
2012, when I was newly posted to community secondary school at Agudama as the vice principal admin, I had not been there for too long when one day there was a scampering around the school. So when I came out from my office to find out what was happening, it was a student that was caught with a gun, trying to initiate another student.
Dennis says teachers like him are becoming helpless.
These matters have severally been reported to the government, reported to the police, but there has been nothing tangible that comes out of it.
Both Dennis and Buba reflect the unease in classrooms which are supposed to be learning havens. Some of these children go to school every day not knowing what might happen. Everyone appears to be on the edge.
There are different cult groups, so probably this side has its own and that we have the own. They can do you there, they can do you here, so this area and that other side of the roundabout, not as safe.
At a time, we cannot walk on the street, the ordinary man, that has no protection from them.
This is Central PA Secondary School in Opolo, Yenagoa. In 2018, the state government expelled 7 students for belonging to a particular cult group.
This action was one of the bold steps taken by the state government to rid schools of cultism.
The cultists, they attacked a young man who was even their senior, a year their senior. Attacked him in the class. We have to get them arrested, send them to the police station.
We could not speak with any underage court members, but we tracked down one of the gang leaders who recruits them. He will only talk to us on the condition that we hide his identity. He was initiated into the underworld at the age of 14. Now, he's 30 and is seen as the big brother in his community. In 24 months, he says, he has recruited more than 56 children into the gang. Some of them are girls.
Some of these children, they join because of protection. And some they join because of the assistance the group they give them. Now then they go months, they go bring in food, they give us intel, they tell us as they go. Maybe like say one opponent, they one place, so that we self go dey vigilant. You know they give those kind of children gun to carry because say they never TI, they never know what's up for street, so their work now to they give us information.
He confesses to me that as soon as their recruits turn 18, they observe the rites of passage and are given a gun.
Okay, can you give me an idea of where you get the guns that you give to these teenagers?
That one. Now buy them, they buy them now. That one I no fit tell you because it's secret something.
So when you give out guns to your members, what exactly do they use them for?
They give them gun now. When we get problem with opponents, now we go take insurance or do our own back, attack them.
We approached the police to understand the scale of the problem.
I have not been able to notice any preponderance of underage children engaging in cultism. We may have had a kind of a negligible fraction of such people.
We took the response of the police to Bayelsa state government, and the government spokesman disagrees.
As Commissioner for Information, I get first-hand report on these things. But one thing I can tell you is that I'm aware that a lot of young people are getting more involved in cultism, even as low as the primary school. Yeah, we've received cases of cult activities even in our primary school. And that clearly shows that it's a big problem and we have to deal with it decisively.
In 2012, the state government enacted an anti-cultism law, and a year after started a renunciation program, a form of amnesty for repentant cultists.
Over 10,000 enlisted to denounce. It was a big event because, much to our surprise, we didn't realize that we had that much number of persons, young people who are cultists.
Despite the law, the problem continues. In 2018, the state government amended some of its provisions. The amendment provided that the police could arrest suspects without warrants, and convicted cultists could be sentenced to 20 years in prison. Today, cultism remains one of the biggest problems in the classrooms. The state government admits that the law may not be effective after all. It blames Nigeria's slow criminal justice system for it.
The law, even though it's there, it has its powers to punish offenders. We had issues with the issue of enforcement of the law, and that's where the real problem is.
As a father, how do you feel about this problem?
Even if my children are not involved in cultism, they are threatened by those who are in it. So it's a problem for all of us. So I'm threatened also by it. Because you see these young people, they're given all kinds of weapons. I don't know what the initiation process is, but from the cases that have been reported to us, I mean, it's scary.
Advocates say the solution to the problem begins with effective parenting.
Parents should sit up and be responsible. I think we will go a long way to curbing this menace.
There are allegations that politicians patronize court gangs, and where poverty and a failing family system are a reality, more children may be lured into the world of crime. Abayomi Adisa, Gist Nigeria.
Indeed, a call for parents to be more involved in their children's lives. Moving on, Emeka Abugu became blind due to untreated measles as a child. He says he's the most reliable mechanic in his community in Enugu Ezike, southeastern Nigeria. He shares with us how he learned the trade despite losing his sight.
I'm Emeka Abugu, a mechanic. Bamdu mata ke ya mbere mizo nem na ma akwaka mu logo oge mdu na mata mara uba mu bo kenye na je mu logo di chiche asina mpranya ma nwuga ngo pam na ji nwere obere span a na eji na arụ n'onwe baskoro so pam na or kata unchir span a mu n'onwe na arụ ka nke m na arụ nwayo na abanye m Chineke mee ọ na-eto n'ime m n'eto ta we malite na arụ ya. Anything got difficult, very dika or I'm a forgot their spiritually. If they give na test like this, bem na think capacity to be meshi, the cover draw to obido by head to from there obido starter. I'm a chama fan gorum name come the use ever. Munum the jia as pass, na marmego lemge or dima. Ntinyere mar marego lego ugol makwarego la ejiwe kwa mu pasa mu zuta oye woro ma o di banchu mana onye wotere otu na asiku oburu ngozi nke chukwu geso konya watago
anyị na-arụza pụta ntu ba na taya ọ da afọ so chita onye for na lose the tire kwefute the tube Emeka ji no nwa na patch and the tube. I was surprised that very day. Everybody was surprised. So can you take one match we data? We na fraud na ngone roya drink clean or roya fuma. See that the machine can allow ngori him ready by the time.
Kami bawa back and kuzere. Tama faga dakan. Ejo ka tano nyam ka na ro ka ofuma. Jarwa. Nka share ba we potenu mo ron na re ego. Ọnọdụ onye anọ ya bụrụ echefukele Chineke maka na Chineke pụrụ ịgbanwe ọnọdụ onye ọbụla achievement wee bụrụ family ezinụlọ nke Chineke yọrọ ya m n'aka achọkwara m Chineke nyekwara m aka bụrụ onye nwere ego nji na-azụ ụmụ m n'akwụkwọ na-arụkwa ya edozikwa ma house ifugoro ụlọ m n'imagọ na ọ bụ uncompletable house mgbe ya ji ime moto anyị ọgwụ mgbochi adịghị oge ahụ enweghị ihe dịka ọgwụ mgbochi enweghị ihe dịka ọgwụ mmezu amaghị ofụma mmezu ka pụtara ọfụ oge ahụ onye ọbụla na-akpachapụ anya na-ejekwe na-etrit nwa oge a eji na-agbacha ọgwụ mgbochi maka measles so ka ọ ghara ịfụ nwa onwe n'ụdị ọnọdụ dị otu a m nọ na ya kịta.
Emeka is not letting his condition define or limit him. Do you know anyone who is making a difference despite their physical limitations? Do share their stories with us on Twitter at Gist Nigeria TV. Still ahead on Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV. Rwanda's developing art market now attracting international buyers and investors. Just stay tuned for that story. Great to have you back on Gist Nigeria from the BBC and Channels TV. I am Wale Fakile. Thanks a lot for staying with us. Coming up in a moment. She is on a mission to ensure premium health care for the elderly in Nigeria. But just before we take that story, now, when thinking about Rwanda's economy, several activities come to mind. Agriculture, tourism, or even technology, but rarely art. That's mainly because this sector is still informal, despite being a source of income for many local entrepreneurs. But this is quickly changing as the art scene in the country is booming. The BBC's Maggie Mutesi reports for Gist Nigeria.
Visual art is everywhere in Rwanda. You see its presence in the streets, in business premises, and also in the home. This, in turn, is leading to new creative and business opportunities for Rwandans as artists, distributors, and gallery owners. This is one of the most popular visual art in Rwanda, dating back to the 18th century. The locals call it imigongo, and it is made using cow dung.
Well, at the beginning, we built some sort of catalog to guide us, but because the art is based on geometry and shape and color and modeling, it gives a lot of room for artists to change out things.
How much money does one piece of imigongo cost?
We are ranging from like $2 to $50. And sometimes we get customized designs that are bigger, that could go maybe for $200.
The demand for local art is booming. It's led to an increase in the number of galleries and exhibition events. In fact, in 2018, the first contemporary art museum opened in Kigali to showcase Rwandan artists. Benimana Giselle has been working at the Migongo Center and has high hopes of starting her own art business.
Since I started making imigongo, and I haven't done it for long, I have seen a lot of benefits. I am able to take care of my family and pay for health insurance. I will continue working here because in the future, I hope to start my own art business.
Rwanda's market for visual art is twofold. On one hand, traditional pieces fetch an average of $5 in the local market, while on the other hand, bespoke pieces retail for up to $50,000. Back in 2012, Emmanuel and Innocent decided to jump into the then uncharted waters of selling Rwandan art to international buyers.
The piece in itself is called Living Treasure. So Living Treasure, I used motherboards that represents the growing tech scene in the country. I used the gorilla, and then if you see how green it is, actually shows how we are also devoted for conservation.
How do you guys put a price on this art?
I think it's self-confidence, and it's resources, time you put in, giving it value. I mean, it's the whole concept.
How do you promote your art pieces to even be able to sell to the international market?
We do art events, we do happy hours, we do exhibits, we do art classes. You see people excited about this.
Global interest in African art has been growing steadily in recent years. And with international buyers now looking at Rwanda's vibrant art scene, it's primed to take its place in this multi-million-dollar business. Maggie Omotesi, BBC News, Kigali.
To other stories. Captain Fatima from Botswana described the aviation industry as white and male. To combat this, she founded Dare to Dream, an organization whose aim is to inspire young African women to reach for the sky. Have a look.
The aviation industry is heavily white and heavily male-dominated. I wanted to be one of those young people in Africa who are pushing the empowerment of girls to consider careers in the aviation and aerospace industry. I am Captain Khomozo Patsima. I'm the president and founder of Dare to Dream. We teach young people robotics and coding, drone technology. We also give them the experience to fly as well as STEMpreneurship. Statistics say that across the world, only 8% are females in the aviation industry. So this is why I had the passion and the dedication to really make it into this industry so that I can inspire more young girls across the African continent to consider careers not only as pilots but as aviation doctors, aviation lawyers in this industry. My last word to the girl child is that be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. It's not going to be easy, but go out there and make your dream alive.
From that, we'll move on to our weekly showcase of Nigerians doing amazing things around the world. After working many years as a geriatrician in the UK, Oluwatoyin Ajala is back home to not just care for the elderly, but train medical personnel on how to care for them. Let's check her out.
Hello, my name is Oluwatoyin Ajala. I'm a medical doctor, a consultant geriatrician. Check me out. So I grew up in Ibadan. I was actually born at the University College Hospital Ibadan. My dad's a doctor, my mom's an agric scientist, and I was the only girl out of 4 children. Felt very special. I went to the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. I graduated in 1991 and I did my house jobs. And immediately after my house jobs, I went to the UK. I love my family. So my family, I'm married to a consultant obstetrician gynecologist, and I've got 4 children. I've got 4 girls. My oldest child is 22 years old. She just graduated from university, and my youngest daughter is 14. I love traveling. I travel for fun, for leisure, for tourism. I've been to 56 countries. I've been to every single continent on the planet. And I went to Antarctica. I decided in 2007 to come back home once I finished my training to set up a geriatric service. And with my write-ups, with my laptop, with my dream, I got no support. And for quite a long time, I put my dream on hold because I just felt it wasn't something that was viable or something that was doable. It wasn't until 2 years ago that somebody reached out to me. A friend called me and said she was stuck because her mother was ill and she didn't know what to do. So I started making inquiries about how we could help her. And it was at that point that one of my younger ones said to me, "Don't you think you should revive your dream?" And I thought, well, okay, let's give it a go. I put it out there. JBS Medicare Services, the Elderly Healthcare Service. If you're out there and you've had a dream, there's something that you've wanted to do for a long time, you don't feel you have the support to do it, I just want to encourage you to go for it. Not everyone will buy into your vision, not everyone will support you. Looking for endorsement is futile because you probably won't get it from the people that you really think should give it to you. Chase your vision, follow your dream, you will not regret it. I am Olutoyin Ajala, a medical doctor, a consultant geriatrician, and you've just checked me out.
Admirable. Let's move on to a quick reminder of our top story this week. Just Nigeria unravels how the underage are lured into cultism in Bayelsa State as the state's police chief insists the number of such cases is insignificant.
I have not been able to notice any preponderance of underage children engaging in cultism.
Do join us again next week where we'll be checking out Reye Agiwa Osagi, the sports enthusiast who is introducing boxing into fitness routines. Sounds fun. We want to hear from you. You can join the conversation right now on Twitter at JustNigeriaTV. And for more on any of our stories, visit bbc.com/Africa and channelstv.com. That has been our package on the show today. Thank you for staying with us. Until next time, I am Wale Fakile. Goodbye.